World Electronic Sports Games returns with a new season, the largest championship among national teams in the history of esports. Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO, StarCraft 2, and $5.5 million at stake. European finals will be held in marvelous Barcelona from the 22nd to the 26th of November. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hellcase Cup. Number 6, we're into playoffs, or further into playoffs, and we will be having Pride, I think, facing off against Big's first match in this Hellcase tournament, of course coming in as one of the added teams later on for the quarterfinals to try and get themselves through for a chance. I think it's like $60,000 or something now, 20-odd thousand for the winner, so not bad considering it started off as 10k. As you can see, unfortunately, we do have Minis missing, so whatever happened for the first map, his power is gone, and he will not be here for map number 1, which is unfortunate. Nothing we can really do about it other than like call off the whole match and just cry, and unfortunately we're not going to do that, so we are going to have Matty in from Isaaco Boars. I don't really know too much about him as a player. I don't think he's going to quite fill in the shoes of Maniz, who is normally the star player for Pride as well, so I don't think that's going to be the sort of standard that they were looking for, and they've just stopped the knife. What? Okay, I guess we're just having a second attempt. It was a knife round anyway, so a little bit odd, but yeah, we're just going to be waiting for this one. Of course, Big, I think, I don't want to say overwhelming favorites, but definitely now the Maniz is not here. Like, he was going to be my main point, where I was going to be like, yeah, the Big have a big advantage. Oh god, I'm going to do that all the way through the game. They have a massive advantage. There you go, there's a different word. And, but then Maniz does have that potential. He's a brilliant player, great AWPer for the team. He's not even here now, so like, a lot of my point is now gone. And the fact is, he would have had to face off against Tabson anyway, and individually, I think Tabson would still win that battle anyway. And then it comes down to tactics, where I think Big just have them all day long. I don't think there's anybody who's going to be contesting that factor, so it's definitely going to be a difficult series. I think the maps they've got aren't too bad, considering, like, they're pretty happy to play Train. That's probably the best map of Pride. They then move on to Cash, which is still one of their sort of better maps, but they don't play it too much. Okay, now we just got players joining Spectate. What is going on? This is really weird, just people jumping in and out of the server. And then, well, the final map of Cobble is another map that Pride are pretty happy to play. So, in terms of the map pool, they've actually done pretty well here. It's just the fact that Big, well, they're used to playing much better opposition anyway. They're not used to sort of playing Pride. Like, you look at statistics and you'd probably think, oh, Pride have got a really good chance of taking this one. And then you realise that most of the teams that Big play are all top 20 teams and in Pro League. So, their online stats are always going to be very much skewed against them. So, not really expecting a whole lot from Pride, especially now that Matty is going to be standing in. Let's hope he can be the Super Saiyan that Pride need in this situation. But we are going to be going into our pistols. CT side start for Big. They're already going to be picking up Kit and a couple of flashbangs. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Personally, I quite like to see the smoke instead of the flashbangs, but you can actually sort of set things up. Netherlands versus Sweden. Sounds like a pretty good game. Although I suppose, go back maybe like 5-10 years, that would be a brilliant game. Either way though, as I said, into our pistol round. Quite a bit of utility actually coming in for the T side. Couple of smokes and a Molotov. Maybe one going into the connector, and then they have the molly either for the afterplant or for the connector as well. A little bit of aggression going to be coming out from Tabson, who is going to be the lone man on B, although he has support from God B. It's actually just going to be a close ramp smoke coming out, and the push going to be round towards Tabson. Players running in already. Nice start from Luz. We'll get the opening frag. CT side just going to be holding back for a little bit more. Tom, up aggressive. Needs to do work here, and they are actually just going to take those closer range battles just to try and reduce the effectiveness of the USP. Already, Morels manages a second, and actually, the CT side aren't doing too well in this situation. Legia will be able to get one at least, and a second for him, turning it into a 2 versus 2. Reitz up close, looking to try and trade things back, and will do just that, and now Kiev is the only one left alive. Pushing back in, gets a first, looks for the second, only needs to connect the bullet onto the face. Tries to bait out the bomb, but it won't matter. Reitz is going to win it. 3 kills for him in the pistol round, and it is going to be big to now have to force back into things with some pistols. Eve, of course, going to be saving some extra money, wanting to get that AWP in as soon as possible. I used to love watching him on the old alternate attacks roster, so always excited to see Keith play. He can just explode onto maps. I do think this is one of those games where he could just take control. But we'll see. At least in this round, a nice start from the T side. Should be running in with the SMGs and the few rifles that they picked up. And, well, now Tabson is the only one left alive. He's going to be spotted out. Nice shot from Tabson. Will at least be able to pick up one and the second as well. Making things costly at least. Shouldn't be able to win the round. And she's got to be careful with the man behind him. Morels will shut him down in the end. There is going to be a rifle lost, which a little bit of cost for Pride going forward. But at least in this round, it can't really be much more invested. Tabson probably could pick up another Deagle if he really wanted to. Obviously, getting 2 kills with the Deagle makes $600. The Deagle only costs him $700, so pretty much paid for it. And Kiev's actually going to pick up a CZ, leaving him exactly enough for an AWP and Kevlar going into the next round. And anything else is sort of a bonus, although you don't make much money off the CZ at all, so in terms of actual monetary gain, there isn't going to be a huge amount. Tabson will actually use a little bit of that extra money to buy a P250, but other than that, it's actually going to be Legia to start things off. A little bit of damage done already. At least trying to make things costly. Don't allow the T side to build up too much extra cash, and Kiev on the flank could make things a bit more interesting. Spots out 2 players, gets both with the CZ, retrieves an AK as well, turning it into a 2 versus 1. And he doesn't have any armor, but that's a lovely shot. Hits the headshot and leaves it onto Morels, who is going to be sneaking around behind him. He's not going to know. It was a nice attempt from Kiev. That shot was ridiculous, but it is still going to be the round for Pride. 3-0, but 4 players lost with what? $800 invested? That's not a bad round at all. Here we go, though. Big buy. The Kiev obviously making himself some extra money. Can now get himself a little bit of utility. Hey, Beasley Bob. How are you? Okay, can be going out. Not going to do any damage early in this round. They are going to have Tabson as the Catalyst B player. Not a bad person to have as your sort of individual. I feel like that could work quite nicely for Big on Train. Every single player on the T side is going to be waiting towards that upper B spot, but already some aggression going to be coming out from the CT side, spotting that there is nobody over towards A main. And we are going to see the rotation now from Kiev, spotting out towards upper, although both players are actually spotting out towards upper. They may want to switch one of them back towards ramp. Smoke going to be holding the T side back for now, but here comes the push. Maddie going to be looking to try and lead the charge, but left blind, and Kiev will push in, finds one. Second player actually going to push through the smoke, and it will be trades back for Morels, leaving it in to a 3v2 as he now picks up 3 kills for his team, leaving Legia and God B to try and clutch this one out. Bomb is going to be dropped, but it's a very quick trade, and God B now has all of the work left to do. Sprays down, but won't be able to get either of the kills. 4-0 now for Pride, and what started quite nicely for Big on the site was quickly diminished by the push through the smoke and a big round from Morels. Only pistols going to be available for Big. are going to get 3,400 into the next round anyway, so they can afford to invest a little bit more. But most of the players not having any Kevlar is going to make things quite difficult. Luz will find the opening. Grenade will get the second. No real damage done to the T's either. They can just keep things nice and slow. 1 minute 25 left on the clock. No real worries for them. Next with the Deagle, though. Can you get anything done here? Keith will be able to at least find it first. However, the trade's coming thick and fast. And Tabson just looking to at least maybe take one on the way out. Not going to happen. Matty will double down and already 5-0. Nice start from Pride. Now is where we may expect the return, though. AWP will come back into play. This is the first time we've seen Big with a decent amount of utility. Legia will pick up the kit as well alongside it. Molotov thrown out to stop any upper aggression. We will see the T side taking over Ivy control as well. Been a great start for Morels in this game. At least early in this round. We can see a little bit of aggression out from Godby. Obviously trying to use the electric box to give him a little bit more presence forward. And Kiev at the moment is rotated over towards the B site, but playing the connector, he can quickly switch back. Ivy control. Now going to be challenged, but a little bit of a crossfire in from this CT side. Flashbang actually going to completely blind next, so he's not going to be spotting anything for a little while. It will be Keith to start things off. Aggression out from Luz. Finds the kill with the AWP. Is the secondary AWP for the team normally, but of course Maniz is currently missing, but he's doing work. Picks up 2. Godby the only one anywhere near the action at the moment. But Keith's still going to be doing work with that AWP. Trading things back. Godby not going to be expected, and we'll be back to a 2 versus 3. Tom trying to hold on to the connector, and if Keith peeks wide here, he may be losing his life. It's going to be the rotation back around into a 2 versus 2. Tabson very quick to look for this trade, and he will be able to find it. Last man actually going to be planting the bomb. I don't think they've heard the plant, so it will allow Matty to do it, but it is going to be a first round on the board for Big. Nice work from Keith to start things off, and then the remaining couple of players will be there to close it. 5-1. The problem is now T-side, they've got a decent amount of money. They can look to try and break straight back and send Big's economy packing. CT side already having to drop down to UMP on next. Make sure he has all that extra utility. They do have full nades on every single player. Clearly going to be an important part of their game. And he's going to be playing in Pop Dog, which isn't too much of a problem. Although Morels has already pushed in. It will be a nice start for him at least. A 1-for-1 trade. And they're going to do more damage. And Godby will actually drop the bomb. However, as he goes to Molotov it, Matty actually peaks the angle and leaves things back in a 3 versus 3. Yeah, Matty's currently standing in for Maniz, who has power problems. So I think power's gone off in his house. Hopefully he'll be back for map number 2. And, well, if Pride managed to take this map, maybe they won't need to bring him back already. Aggression from Legia. I think that was a little bit overzealous. However, Kiev will be able to turn things back. Knows where one of his opponents is. It's the man over towards Pop Dog, which hasn't been spotted in a while. That's the thing. They did know he was there initially, of course, but it's been a long time. Peak round from Kiev. He's already starting to style on the guys from Pride. And now Matty, the stand-in for the team, will be left into a 1 versus 2. Will at least be able to get the bomb down, which is going to give probably enough for them to actually get a buy into the next round. Kiev is going to switch over to the rifle, and he will win the battle anyway. 5-2. Another decent round coming out from Kiev, who is leading the charge at the moment, 12-6. But as I said, the bomb plant, it's going to give enough money for a buy to come back in. Reeks will be struggling a little bit unless Morels actually drops him over a rifle, but then that will diminish their chances of getting an AWP. And Luz, at least in the last round, did actually get a couple of decent entries with the AWP. By the looks of things, they are going to be going for this. Straight in with the AKs. Reet's just going to take the hit and buy himself a CZ instead, which, at the moment, this isn't too much of a problem. Who chose this map? This map was chosen by Pride. A little bit of aggression coming out from Tabson with the support of Kiev over towards ramp. There you go. Horse of War has got you covered with the maps. Tabson looking for the aggression. He spots it. Everyone actually drops his gun as he runs away. A little bit of a fright for him as he peeks around the corner. Hey, epic shooter. Smoke's going to be thrown in. Still one man lurking over towards Ivy, who will just try and back around. And actually the bomb is going to be dropped, so they're not dedicating to the side. They're just trying to force rotations out, maybe confuse their opponents as they do look to back around towards this A site. The thing they've got to worry about, though, is God B has already pushed into A main. Matty, though, finds a first. Is actually going to bait over a second rotation, leaving just the man in A main. And actually, God B's going to go rotating away from the site. They may have got this completely wrong. It seems like Nex has the right idea. Pushing back in, but already Morel's still going strong. Will pick off another. Leaves just 3 players remaining. Now, the flank from God B is going to be very quick indeed. He does spot out the rifle. Knows he has to get rid of the man in Pop Dog before he can really do too much else. And Matty just standing perfectly still. The problem is his teammates are all dying. How is God B doing this? How has he not been spotted? Eventually, somebody has to see it. And there we go. Manages to get one. A little bit sneaky from Mr. B, but unfortunately, there isn't going to be anything in this round. The CT side economy is now going to be reset. Now we're going to invest a bit into this. Leggy has actually gone all in. He's thrown all of his money to the wind and just gone, yep, I'm buying this round. Scout. Not sure if that's miscommunication or just realizing he wouldn't have had much cash in the next round anyway. Already Pride off to a stunning start. Now, one thing Big have always been, well, give them props for is their tactics, but it can be said that against a team not only that has a stand-in, but also not near the sort of very top of Counter-Strike, it's difficult to sort of read if they're playing a more sort of puggy style, which they definitely are at the moment, just sheer aggression coming out, and more Kiev is going to play around that smoke and goes down within the first few seconds. A little bit of aggression out towards Sandwich, but it will be spotted by Reeks. Doesn't see the second player, Mr. Sneaky God B, around again. Does actually manage to retrieve the scout, but once more, it's sort of a redundant situation where maybe he can get one. Oh, what is that, God B? What was that? Oh my god. Don't worry, no one saw that. No one saw that. That wasn't even close. That was not even close. Oh god. Oh my god. Server lag or a cave. Once again, they're just going to have to go for some pistols here. Try and do a bit of damage. That's not bad. Nex and Keeve actually picking up a couple. Could at least make things costly, but Maddie just spraying them down. Nex. If he could drop a third player, there's actually a couple of low. Make all of them low. It's a shame he's only got 6 bullets. He's going to have to do this in style if he is going to be able to win the round. Looking like the T's. I've had enough of that. And Nex will burn. Does at least finish off one more player, so that's something. Only 2 players surviving for the T side. They've still got a pretty decent bank, considering they've been coming up against and weaker buys, and also a flawless round in the one before. Here we go, though. Double AWP setup brought in by the CT side. The AWP of Kyiv has actually been the most effective way of quelling the attack of Pride so far. So maybe bringing in a secondary AWP onto Nex will be able to change things as well. Kyiv is going to be sent over towards Ivy. Very aggressive spot from him. And that Molotov. Right, stops them pushing, I guess. He's actually going to be caught with an nade in hand, switching back towards the AWP, but Tabson will at least take one down on the B side. That's where the push is coming in. He's got to try and defend it on his own, at least for now. The rotation coming in, and what rotation? Nex is now the only one left. 2 players pushed into A. He doesn't have a kit. Maybe if he killed Matty and had a kit, there would be a chance for the defusal, as they are quite far. And they are still quite far, actually. Is he just going to go for this? There's no way he's getting it with 10 seconds. Surely not. Oh my goodness, he's actually pretty close. Are they actually... He let go! He might have had it. He might have actually had that. That was ridiculously close. He still brought it into 1 versus 1, and Luz will kill him. I actually wonder if he had that defuse. I think he had it. That was a really nice try from Nex, but... Oh, that is frustrating. That would have been amazing. A 10-second defuse after taking down the 1 bomb planter. Now, if he gets the kill, of course, it's a win round for them anyway. But here we go. Aggression from CT side. They'll be looking to try and push towards upper B. 3 players, but in the meantime, the T's have just walked straight onto A. Legia, the only man to try and defend it, and he will be going down. Quick flank, though, so maybe they can be a little bit sneaky from behind. Already Godby and Tabson will pick up a kill, turning it into a 3 versus 3. They're now all coming from the same angle. It'll be difficult to try and get out already. The spray will come down. Reitz and Tom to close. 10-2. Pause going to be called. Tactical pause for Big. Now, this is quite surprising. I have to say, Pride have impressed me. Individually, they've just been very sound. A lot of aggressive pushes out and trading effectively. And there really hasn't been much to stop them. Kyiv had a few moments with the AWP. That's why we actually see a couple of rounds on the board. Other than that, hasn't been much of a step up. We've seen some comedy from Godby. A missed knife and a sort of attempted sneak onto the site with the AK, but... There we go, though. They are going to go for the double AWP setup once again. This time, Nex is not going to have one. It will be Legia instead. Just going to be coming in, and already, there we go. Kyiv is going to start things off with the AWP. First kill going their way. This time, with a man advantage, they can look to try and just slow things right down. Don't give away any picks. Interesting flashback. We've seen a few very interesting nades this game. Interesting normally means I have no idea how to explain them. Habson is still going to be the lone man over towards his B site, so he's got to be pretty careful here. Be holding the Molotov. Peak going to be coming in. He actually falls off just as they're actually there. The Molotov is going to deny their push for now. They're actually going to go running away and look to go back towards the A site, where the majority of the CT side currently wait. Matty actually putting in a pretty stellar performance, considering he is a stand-in on this team. Few shots can be rattled off, but by the looks of things, they are going to go rotating back towards B site. Shots coming through the wall. There's already 2 players here. Kiev watching the upper spot. He's in a very aggressive position, so it should be a fairly easy trade. However, nobody's actually going to be pushing through upper, and the pot flash is perfect. Slows them down even more. Kiev will take the first and just fall back, and this should be a very easy round from here on out from the CT side. 15 seconds left. P side just looking to do as much damage as they can. Will be a nice kill coming out from Reitz. And actually, Loz has found another one. This should be easy for Big, but maybe it won't be. 4 seconds. Bomb going to be going down. Somehow this is back into a 2 versus 2. What is going on with the Germans at the moment? Gobby and Legia. Going to try and push back in. Reitz going to be waiting. Spots out Legia. Gobby going to be going down. Legia into the 1 versus 1. He'll be looking to just try and run back in. He doesn't have a kit, so it's all going to come down to time. And he's even going to lose the battle. An unbelievable round from Reitz, but well, you could say the exact same thing for Big. Unbelievable. How? A 5 versus 2 with 15 seconds on the clock. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. I don't know what's going on. CT side once again. They're only going to be left with pistols. Legia going for a little bit of aggression, trying to play around the smoke. Reitz going to be pulling back in. Here's a nice shot from Kiev to at least hit the first, but he's not going to get the kill. Next going to just be falling back towards the B site. Now I'm just going to have a couple of players waiting. Tabson with the Deagle. We'll be able to pick off one, and that's actually a rifle into his hands. There's nobody there to trade. However, the rest of the T's are just going to look to try and push back into the site. Minute left on the clock, plenty of time. Couple of low players, and Tabson's actually just using the Molotov to his advantage. Already another kill comes in for Nex, who's picked up a second AK, and somehow, of all the rounds, this is the one they managed to win. Rifles will be... Okay, he shot that away! I know what he tried to do. He tried to shoot it towards God B, but actually it didn't work. This is just funny. 11-3. At least they can get themselves one more round on the board. If they do that, win the pistol, maybe there's a chance they can bring things back. You got to remember, it's still possible, especially against a mixed team. Nice shot to start. Kiev. Down to just 5 HP. We now also have Tabson here once again. Push could be coming in. They will be making their way through the Molotov. Tabson on the side will be there to start things off. Gets the first for his team. But Reitz has been great in these trades and actually catches another Kiev. Very low on HP. Legia trying to lurk around in the smoke. The nade's actually going to hit onto Matty and he won't be able to take down Nex. Back to a 3v2 as quickly. Again, Reitz is on the trade game and Morels is holding the cross. It is going to be a 12-3 half. Nothing that Big can do on this CT side. And this has not been a good game for them whatsoever. Expect much more from Big, I really do. They've looked disjointed and just been torn apart, losing silly rounds. Let's see what they can do on the T side. As said, I'm talking about team being disjointed. Pride, well, they're not going to have not only their AWPer, but they do have other players who can AWP, to be fair. Luz doing a pretty good job of it so far. But they should be pretty weak on this CT side. They've got to stand in. It's going to make things much more difficult. There's no way that Manny will just be able to slot into the position perfectly. So we've got to see how they're going to adapt. At the same time, they only need 4 rounds. B site, just playing very far back at the moment. The advantage of the CT pistol. The fact is, you know that the T's are going to want to try and run down the sides of the trains, throw the smokes in to leave you blind, and then hold off any rotations. Well, at the moment, at least, it's looking like they're going to try and challenge for pop. Jump in. Morel's actually going to be missing the shots, but just opts to fall back, wait for the support of his teammate. And now the T's are actually going to rotate back towards B. But there's still 3 players here. One holding the connector as well. It's a decent read out from Pride at the moment. And here come the smokes. We're going over the top, leave them blind from connector, and get rid of that sandwich spot as well. However, over the top, Maddie is going to be spamming bullets. There's still a man on the site. They've got to deal with Tom just doing his best to try and stay alive. We'll hear the bomb being planted and pushes in to try and deny it, and will do just that, making things even more difficult. However, still into a 3 versus 3. Again, is Reitz doing work, although next we'll actually be able to retrieve the bomb. Hits! That's mad! That transition to just hit that second headshot is ridiculous. That was sick. Reitz, man, what have you eaten for breakfast? Or, well, I suppose it's 4:45 for me. What have you eaten for lunch? 24 and 7. This guy is just... Well, he's basically got Menez isn't here. We need a new star, don't worry, boys. I'm here. 13-3. Pistol's going to be brought up. 3 Deagles, along with Godby and Legia with a hell of a lot of utility. I quite like seeing these buys come in. It's more interesting than... Well, you see a lot of pistol rounds, but it seems like Big have actually got a level of thought to the way they're going into these rounds. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. Especially considering there's 4 rifles on the board for Pride. They're playing this very safe indeed. However, a little bit of aggression coming out from Tom. Nice work from Morales just to get rid of Godby, and there goes all that utility. It's just going to be left to be retrieved by the CT side. Next, not going to achieve anything either, and now Tabson just left behind the smoke. 5 players to find. He's pretty damn good with that Deagle, but I'd be very impressed if he was able to do any more. And he's not. Luz will close. T-side likely to just try and force this up. I'd be, like... I want to see their buy round, of course, in the next. But when you're facing a 14-3 scoreline, you can't really blame a team for wanting to just buy back into this. And again, yep, they're just going to be going for it. Lots of utility. An awful lot of utility, in fact. There we go, though. Reitz. Looking for some aggression. Obviously has a massive advantage in terms of range, so may as well take the longer position. T's looking like they're just setting up for an A execute at the moment. Pretty much setting up the standard smokes, looking to try and smoke off the cross. Get the site covered as well so that you can have yourself that bomb plant and then play from there. That's what they're working with here. Here we go. Let's see what the CTs can do about it already. A smoke of their own going to be thrown out to try and just deny much vision. Which going to be coming in. Tabson already going to be going down. Looking to try and do a bit more. Maddie just behind the smoke, but they're getting absolutely slaughtered at the moment. Doesn't matter what sort of setup you've got. It's only going to be 1 man left. Kiev will be taken down. Only 1 player dropped. And now Big are going to go for something pretty similar into the final, or potentially final round of this first map. Absolute domination from Pride. And Big are going to have a massive turnaround on Cash. Now, it is, of course, their map pick. One that they should be winning. And then again, you feel like they should be winning this whole series, so... Back to basics. Pushing straight out already. There will be 1 kill coming in, but it looks like Tom is just looking to do this all on his own. Godby, once again, the only man left alive. And he will be falling 16-3. Big, they can't beat Pride on their first map, even with a stand-in. What an incredible performance from the Poles. Either way, that is it for map number 1. Don't forget, you can always type !caster if you enjoyed it. And I'll appreciate anyone who wants to follow. And we'll be back for map number 2, which will be Cash, as they look to try and turn things round.
E-gaming bets.
World Electronic Sports Games returns with a new season, the largest championship among national teams in the history of esports. Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO, StarCraft 2, and $5.5 million at stake. European finals will be held in marvelous Barcelona from the 22nd to the 26th of November. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.